President Trump has warned Vladimir Putin he'll impose tariffs and more sanctions on Russia if it does not reach an agreement to end the war in Ukraine. In a post to Truth Social yesterday, Trump urged Putin to, quote, settle now and stop this ridiculous war, or he'll put high levels of taxes, tariffs, and sanctions on items sold by Russia. Joining us now from the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv is CBS News senior foreign correspondent Holly Williams. Holly, these kinds of threats, are they likely to bring Vladimir Putin to the negotiating table?
Good morning, Vlad. Well, interestingly, the Kremlin's actually already responded to that post from President Trump, saying that it's, quote, nothing new. And that's probably not very surprising, given that Russia is already isolated economically and politically from the West by existing sanctions. Look, here I think is the bigger picture. On the one hand, Russia is currently making gains on the battlefield here in Ukraine. But on the other, a lot of military observers believe that this war has been a humiliation for Vladimir Putin, a war that he started by invading Ukraine. So Russia has suffered a string of embarrassing failures here on the battlefield. The second or third most powerful military in the world supposedly has only succeeded in taking around 20% of Ukraine's territory, and Russia has suffered hundreds of thousands of casualties. So yes, maybe at this point, Vladimir Putin would be super willing to sit down with the President of the United States at a summit meeting and find a face-saving way out of this conflict. Here in Ukraine, more and more people are open to negotiations, open to a ceasefire. But the fear is that Vladimir Putin could use negotiations, use a ceasefire to buy time, rebuild his military, and then renege on any deal and reinvade Ukraine.
Wow. All right. So speaking at the World Economic Forum in Davos on Tuesday, as you know, Holly, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said at least 200,000 European peacekeepers would be needed to stop new Russian attacks under any ceasefire deal that the two come to an agreement over. What more can you tell us about what else Ukraine is saying that it needs?
Well, look, Vlad, there was a recent poll here in Ukraine that just found that just over half of Ukrainians would like to negotiate a ceasefire. That is up dramatically since the beginning of the war in 2022. And it's not surprising given the horrors that people have lived through here over the last 3 years or so. But Ukraine is adamant that there cannot be a ceasefire without security guarantees for Ukraine, whether that is NATO membership, whereby the US and other countries would have to come to Ukraine's defense if it was attacked, whether it's peacekeepers or some other measures. Also, many Ukrainians have said to us that no matter what happens, they need a continuing supply of American weapons to defend themselves because they do not trust Vladimir Putin to stick to any deal that he agrees to. So look, at least some Ukrainians would like to negotiate, would like a ceasefire, but the devil is going to be in the details. Vlad.
All right, Holly Williams for us from Kyiv this morning. Thank you, Holly.